The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by True Value Hardware, your store of first choice. By O'Duncan O'Bright, reminding you to shop 9 to 9 today and tomorrow, 9 to 6 during their Irish Bargain Party sale. And by Fayetteville Dodge, a dealer that makes the difference.
Ryan Homes feature Carrier heating and air conditioning equipment installed by Morgan Badgley Company.
People like you and me, being the best that we can.
1,000 air conditioners,
a new standard,
and Weathermaker gas furnaces.
the most advanced,
Quiet, lasting,
our most comfortable ever.
Carrier. Buy now with nothing to pay until Labor Day.
Call Fossil Heating for details on the $150 rebate. Offer available to homeowners until July 1st on model TKDL units. We're not comfortable until you are.
And welcome back to Central New York 9's live coverage of the 7th annual Syracuse St. Patrick's Parade. The Butler Dancers kicking things off and warming everybody up for the wonderful festivities that are about to begin. Of course, everything in readiness already. They've been out here planning all morning, getting the floats ready, getting the bands ready.
And our Rick Gary was checking in a few minutes ago at the staging area. Rick, what did you find?
Peggy, I'm back here in the staging area, and that's where everybody is getting ready to step off in this St. Patrick's Day Parade 1989 style. And I guess you could call the weather a little bit like Ireland would be in March. Everybody's a little bit on the cold side, as I am right now. But very anxious to get started, keeping warm in the parade. Hopefully they'll be able to do that in the next hour or so. And we got a lot of the parade people getting set in the back here. What's your name? Come on over here and we'll talk to you. Kiss me, I'm Jameson Irish. What's your last name? Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, you're going to be in the parade today with this float, I believe, right here. What's the theme of the float? Where are you guys from? You from a church or an organization that marching today? No, just going to march in the parade and have fun? Okay, well, stay warm, will you? Okay, thank you. All right, let's go down here and see what we'll get. So this is we've got a, I believe it's a dinosaur or whatever down here. Maybe it's a Loch Ness Monster, but I guess that'd be the wrong country, wouldn't it? Yes, okay. You have to pardon my sniffles today because it's going to be part of the ball game. Beautiful. We're looking for the balloon from the newspaper, but couldn't find it. I don't know whether they're going to inflate that just prior to the parade, which is only minutes from now, or they're going to do it, or have already done it, maybe further down here. But we got quite a line of people: balloons, marching bands, the police department, fire department. This is going to be in the parade. Hey, come over here. Hey! How you doing, buddy? What's your last name? Huh? You got to have an Irish last name.
O'Darms.
O'Darms, all right. What's the organization here with
This is OCC, Student Government.
Beautiful.
Derby O'Dragon.
Derby O'Dragon. Well, I kind of thought it might have been the Loch Ness Monster, but I knew then it was the wrong country.
Right. Well, this is coming out of his cave of the mountain.
How long did it take you to put this together?
We did it in a week.
No kidding. That's beautiful. Anybody inside of that?
Yeah, Larry Rathbun designed it, built it, did the superstructure, and came up with the idea of covering the sheets with glue.
And there's somebody inside moving it?
Right, yeah.
That's the best job here today, staying inside.
Really?
Yes.
He's got it.
I would think so. Good enough. Well, good luck to you. We'll see you down further on the parade route. All right, let's go down here. We'll do one more here, and then we'll get these people dressed in, they've got green inner tubes and white outfits, and then shortly the parade will start. I'm sure, I hope, anyway. These people have got to stay warm here. You guys all ready? What do you mean, what? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are these waterproof?
We hope so.
And they're windproof and everything.
Let's put it this way. We hope those are waterproof so the green doesn't run. We don't want any more green in the street than they have.
Okay, have fun. We'll see you down for the parade route. Okay, I'm going to throw it back to you, Jeff and Peggy.
All right, thanks a lot. Rick Gary introducing us to some of the brave people who are lining the parade route today, Jeff.
I don't want to sound overly optimistic, but I think the weather has calmed down a little bit. It's a little less windy, and there's no precipitation right now, so it's not too bad.
Well, last year, 125,000 people showed up for this parade. This year, they had hoped to see 138,000, but I think the weather may keep that down just a bit.
But it'll boost the television audience, so folks, if you don't want to brave this weather, then stay right there, because we'll have the whole parade for you. As Rick Gary mentioned, the parade is starting right where he was a few minutes ago at Clinton Square. It will move south along South Salina Street, past the reviewing stand, past our Central New York 9 broadcast location, which is right outside the hotels at Syracuse Square, and left onto Adams Street, and the parade will end at Montgomery Street.
And, of course, one of the people that you'll see leading off the parade is this year's Grand Marshal, Onondaga County Sheriff John Dillon.
And Mike Price got a few minutes a few days ago to sit down and give us a profile of the sheriff, and Mike is on the street right now to tell us all about his visit with our Grand Marshal Sheriff Dillon. Mike?
Earlier in the week, we did get a chance to talk with Sheriff Dillon, who is this year's Grand Marshal. Now, he started a few years ago with the parade, well, 7 years ago when it started, and he arranged the bands and made arrangements for those bands, and now he's come to the point where he is the Grand Marshal. Now, earlier this week, we had a chance to talk to him about his Irish heritage and what he thinks about being the Grand Marshal of this parade.
Sheriff or Marshal Dillon, I presume.
Come in, Michael.
How do you do?
How are you?
Like that other famous lawman from the Wild West, John Dillon walks tall and proud. He's especially proud these days since being picked to lead the St. Patrick's Parade, an event he calls the greatest thing to ever happen in Syracuse.
I think when it started, they said the last one was in 1942, but I don't remember. I never remember a St. Patrick's Day parade here. And it was often lamented because of the high percentage of Irish who lived here, both immigrant and second and third generation. There was really no excuse for it, but now it's coming to its own, more than coming to its own.
When leaders of the Irish community in Syracuse first gathered 7 years ago to announce plans for a new St. Patrick's Parade, John Dillon was right in the thick of things. As he has in earlier parades, Dillon will march in front of his troops, who will form a special escort division for the walk down Salina Street.
So we've arranged it so I'm going to be right where I normally am. The only difference, I'll peel off at the reviewing stand, and I can watch them go by, which I've never been able to do before.
Well, you always look great in the, and you don't put that outfit on, with the stars and the dress uniform too often, do you?
No, that's, last time was last St. Patrick's Day.
This year, the dress uniform will give way to civvies and a green top hat, but the sheriff will carry his familiar blackthorn walking stick, handed down through his mother's family, brought to the States by her father, John P. Conway, when he fled Ireland in 1883.
Now, how sturdy is it being that old? It's not brittle, it's not going to break on you.
I hate like hell to get hit with it. He joined a group called the Invincibles, who were a militant but very small group dedicated to the throwing England out of Ireland. They decided to assassinate the incoming Governor General of Ireland, who was coming from England. They drew straws, and he lost. And he had no stomach for that kind of thing. But he knew if he didn't do it, they'd kill him. That's the way they played rough. So he went home, packed everything he had into a bag, and then walked the opposite way across Ireland from where he figured they would look for him, and came here. And that was, and brought the blackthorn that I'm going to carry in the parade with him.
Oh. The sheriff has been to Ireland twice, in 1972 and again 10 years later. He found the remains of the home his grandmother was born in and was deeply touched, just as he's been touched by this latest in a long line of honors.
That's the greatest individual honor I ever had in my life, really.
Well, being elected for 4 terms to a sheriff isn't too bad, you know.
Yeah, but this beats it. I think this beats it a little bit.
So the sheriff thinks that being the sheriff is quite an honor, but being the Grand Marshal of this parade maybe means just a little bit more than being sheriff of Onondaga County. And he'll be coming down the avenue here, down Salina Street, in all his Irish regalia as Grand Marshal in just a few moments. leading the parade with his blackthorn walking stick right there with him. That's, well, today we could call him from the Old West, Marshal Dillon. And a Grand Marshal I know he'll be today in the parade. Jeff, Peggy?
Thanks a lot, Mike. That's right. Sheriff John Dillon, a great love of his Irish history and heritage, Jeff.
He is looking forward so much to this day, and seeing him last night at the Irish Review all decked out and getting his official sash to be Grand Marshal, he was a very happy man.
Right. And there are some other wonderful Irishmen in today's parade.
Well, people like Tom Higgins, and we'll tell you a little bit more about Mr. Higgins a little bit later, but he is one of the first Grand Marshals. In fact, he led this parade when it was revived back in 1983. And other Irish people, William Walsh, of course, with his son James Walsh, who is now our congressman. William Walsh was our mayor and congressman. They were the parade Grand Marshals last year. So lots of Irish names here today.
Right, and you mentioned Tom Higgins. We should say that this parade theme is Higgins Heroes this year. Tom, a wonderful Irishman, a wonderful member of our community.
And it really goes to the whole theme of this parade, which is the spirit of community renewal and the spirit of community giving, which is what this parade is all about.
That's right, and it's just about ready to begin. The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Guinness and Harp Imported Irish Beers, distributed locally by Onondaga Beverage Corp., by PNC, the unbeatable price champion, by Chappell's, the store that's always personally yours. Stay with us for the parade.
Come join the fun at the biggest store-wide furniture sale of the year.
This is our annual Irish bargain party. And O'Duncan O'Bright features the largest selection of furniture in New York State.
Oh, the bargains! This beautiful four-piece Thomasville bedroom is only $14.97. This traditional cherry six-piece dining room by Thomasville is only $29.97.
Enjoy Irish refreshments and Irish gifts with every purchase.
And maybe win a trip or two to Ireland.
That's O'Duncan O'Bright. O'Duncan O'Bright.
There's a lot more to health care coverage than just the blues. Now there's a choice. Patient's Choice, the area's fastest growing health maintenance organization and the only plan established by Central New York physicians. Our extensive prepaid coverage through more than 600 area physicians includes most checkups and tests with no claim forms necessary. To learn more, ask your employer or call Patient's Choice today for health care coverage that's sweet music to your ears.
These days, with all kinds of rebates, financing deals, warranties, and the like, the big difference is the dealer. Over the years, Fayetteville Dodge has served thousands of customers who feel we've sold them the right car at the right price. And we think we can do the same for you, whatever your automotive needs. We have tough Dodge trucks, Colt imports, Dodge Caravans, and of course, the full line of great Dodge automobiles, including the exciting new Spirit. Stop in today.
Fayetteville Dodge, behind the Fayetteville Mall, the dealer that makes the difference.
And welcome back to downtown Syracuse, everyone. Jeff Scheidecker along with Peggy Finnegan, and we're here for the broadcast of the St. Patrick's Parade through downtown Syracuse, which is moving down Salina Street as we speak right now, and will be to our location in just a few minutes, and that's when we'll begin to show you all of the bands and the floats and the people marching. In fact, you can see in that shot right there that the parade is getting ever nearer to our broadcast location, but the parade is not the only thing Irish that's going on in downtown Syracuse today, right, Peg?
That's right, Jeff. Just across the street from our broadcast location at the Hotel Syracuse, they are having a St. Patrick's Parade party. 3 Irish bands, $7 admission charge, and I was there last year. It is
That's
a
right.
wonderful.
We ought to say hi to everybody that's watching inside the hotel, because we know that you folks are gathered around that big screen in there. So hello to everybody inside the hotel.
That's right. And then afterwards, of course, at the Landmark Theater from 1 to 5, you can be entertained by the wonderful Mummers. They're having an open house with a Durning String Band, and there's going to be some Renaissance music, and that'll happen after the marchers get through the parade. They're going to stop. They're going to stop off at the Landmark, and it's only $1 to get in. So I think it's a wonderful way to enjoy some of the great entertainment this parade has to offer, Jeff.
That's right. Not too bad. There'll be an Irish Ceilidh as well to benefit Project Children in the basement of the War Memorial going on here today. And bands in the parade have all been invited to come on over to the War Memorial and play crowd that's there. And the proceeds, $1 admission, but the proceeds all go to Project Children. And of course, Project Children is really what this parade, this whole weekend, the Irish Review last night was all about. The benefit that organization, the great work that they do.
Project Children brings children over here from strife and war-torn Northern Ireland, Protestant and Catholic children. And what they learn when they come here is that Protestants and Catholics can live together in peace. Absolutely wonderful program and a wonderful beneficiary of all of this.
In fact, as parade president Nancy Duffy, who will be joining us in a little while, has reminded us, this parade is really inspired by Kathleen Kelly and the work that Project Children does to help those kids and to bring them over every year. 83 children were brought over last summer to enjoy Central New York, and they had a great time.
And I believe they're planning to bring 120 over.
That's great. That's correct. And so hats off to Kathleen Kelly, Project Children, and that's really the spirit of this whole parade. It's a day of celebration, a day that has a serious message as well, and that is, as you said, bringing a little peace to those kids and hopefully sending them back with a message of peace.
And it should be mentioned that although this is the St. Patrick's Parade and it has an Irish theme, it is certainly not only Irish that are enjoying the parade. In fact, of the thousands of people you'll see marching today, they come from all groups, and so many people are involved in putting this tremendous celebration together, and it's really a source of great community pride.
Exactly. Well, our county executive, Nick Pirro, was at the Irish Review last night. We'll be marching in this parade today, and talking with Nick, who's very proud, of course, of his Italian heritage. He is just so thrilled that this community event brings everyone together, brings the whole county and really the whole Central New York region together as well.
That's right. And by the way, happy St. Joseph's Day to all our Italian friends.
That's correct. So it's the St. Patrick's Parade, but it's on St. Joseph's Day, and so it's a double holiday for all of you. Now, the parade, of course, was a Syracuse tradition going back as far as the 1850s. It was revived for a little bit of a time back in the war years. As we said at the beginning of the program, it petered out in Syracuse, moved to Chittenango for a while, and then the folks that Nancy Duffy will tell us about later, some of the folks we've talked about, Tom Higgins and Peter Coleman and many, many others got together at Coleman's Irish Tavern up on Tip Hill, right near the upside-down traffic light, appropriately with green carnations.
That's right. That's another thing we're going to see a lot of today, Jeff.
That's
green.
Right.
And of course, the K-9 unit. These deputies and their specially trained German shepherds, very useful in searching for lost persons, locating drugs, and controlling crowds, unruly crowds, although I don't think this crowd will get unruly today.
No, this crowd's a happy one, enjoying this parade already, as we hope you are at home.
And there's our own Nancy Duffy, parade founder.
And Rick Gehring.
Lining up the bands and the marchers, and she spends so much time on the phone, and you really have to give her a lot of credit, Jeff, because this is just an incredible feat to put something this grand together.
There are more representatives of the Sheriff's Department here today, and representing the jail division, representing the Special Deputy Unit. And again, the Sheriff's Department is leading the parade this year because our Grand Marshal is Onondaga County Sheriff John Dillon. Traditionally, the Syracuse Police is the first in the parade, but this year the Sheriff's Department is before the City Police, and they'll be right behind, led by Chief Lee Hunt. We'll see them in a few minutes. You can hear the sound of the sirens from the Sheriff's Department fleet that is coming behind the men and women marching. There's a Sheriff's Cruiser and the Sheriff's Patrol boats, the Mobile Communications Unit. Now, Air 1 was supposed to have been flying over us at about this point, but I have a feeling the low ceilings have kept Air 1 on the ground today. But, of course, we all know and appreciate the good work that the folks who fly Air 1, Onondaga County Sheriff's Department helicopter, do for us. There you see some of the other contingents of the Sheriff's Department. including that great shot of that old sheriff's car. Many of our older residents.
Bringing back memories.
That's right.
Many of the people, 10 people deep along the parade route, trying to catch a glimpse of all the excitement that will be coming. And of course, as I said before, you've got a great seat because you're going to get a front row look at all of it.
And there are some of the dignitaries just coming into view. The tall man there, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, who's here for another parade. He loves coming to Syracuse, loves enjoying the day in upstate New York, and of course he is from upstate. I'm not too far from here, down in the Oneonta area. He and his wife and family live down there. And so the senator, this is really the senator's home parade, even though he marched yesterday in the St. Patrick's Parade in New York City.
And we might add that yesterday in New York City it was 70 degrees.
Well, it's not quite 70 here today, but again, as you pointed out earlier, the spirit certainly is warm.
That's right.
Other people in that contingent that you can see, Mayor Tom Young, just to the left of your picture, and also the Lord Mayor of Dublin, Ireland,
That's
who
right.
is here.
Benjamin Briscoe with a contingent from Dublin.
Now, I'm sure Mayor Young would like to have the Lord Mayor, the Honorable Lord Mayor's election record. He was first elected in 1965. He's won every election since then to his post. He was elected Lord Mayor of Dublin on the 4th of July, 1988.
Oh, my.
And he is chairman of the Cultural Committee of the Dublin Corporation since 1984. He has turned down invitations from parades all over the country. He was in New York City yesterday, and he is here today in Syracuse to be with us.
That's right. He turned down invitations from San Francisco and Chicago.
There's another one of those terrific pipe bands just coming into view.
Syracuse Kilties. And our own Bill Button, a real Irish leprechaun. The Syracuse Kiltie Pipe Band is directed by Alan Douglas.
Let's listen. And as I mentioned, right behind the Syracuse Kilties and coming down Salina Street right now, the men and women of the Syracuse Police Department.
Led by Chief Lee Hunt. In fact, many of the people in the Kilties are Syracuse police and firemen.
And again, those uniforms decorated in green carnations, Peg. And members of the Syracuse Fire Department, led by another Irishman, Chief Donald Moriarty.
I guess we should have had green carnations, Jeff.
Well, I thought we were supposed to have them. Sooner or later, someone will bring them to us. That's what always happens. Well, here's one of our Central New York bands coming into view now. The award-winning Cicero North Stars North Syracuse High School Band. Cicero North Stars, Cicero North Syracuse North Stars Marching Band. I'm going to get everybody credit for that.
They are directed by Ray Elwood.
And so the parade is underway, marching down Salina Street.
And those school buses filled with people, filled with kids like they should be. The kids along the parade routes that's a familiar sight for them.
That's right.
But today's a day of celebration. No school today.
There's one of probably 50 fire trucks you'll be seeing today. That's a ladder truck from the Syracuse Fire Department. I believe that ladder extends 135 feet.
That's
one
right.
of the tallest in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
One of just a handful of them, right.
5 or 6 of them around the country. That's the rescue aerial truck from the Syracuse Fire Department. And right behind them, I think, the Syracuse Scottish Pipe Band.
Jim Engel, drum major.
Right behind the Syracuse Police Department DARE program, Captain David Sharoon and Sergeant Robert Tassone. And the DARE program, a new one in the Syracuse Police Department and the Syracuse community, designed to keep kids off of drugs by starting in the elementary schools here in Syracuse.
It is a wonderful program, Jeff. In fact, in my work with Best Friends, met a young boy who had just finished completing the DARE program, and he was so proud of that certificate of completion that he brought it with him when we did the shooting of the story, and he wanted us to take a picture of it. So it really makes an impact on kids, and of course we certainly need it.
Absolutely. You know what? I don't know if she's ready to go, but look who's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Duffy, the parade president, has marched the route and is now joining us. Nancy, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. And I don't know, I just went through the most unusual experience of my entire life.
Which is?
Why?
You're going to tell us about it, I hope.
Senator Moynihan suddenly took over as a parade organizer back in the first block, in about the 200 block of South Salina Street, and completely rearranged the First Division.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, we were wondering if it was we who were out of order.
Jeff and I noticed, little did we know that it was Senator Moynihan.
It was Senator Moynihan, and you could tell that he knows how to run a good parade. He had the bands brought forth and changed around a little bit, and everything worked out for the best.
Well, that's terrific. Nancy, the parade's off to a great start despite some cool weather. Folks seem to be just enjoying it and having a great time.
Well, you know, the Irish are hardy stock, Jeff, and a little mist in the air doesn't hurt the Irish. And I don't know, I think it's an amazing, you can look at the crowds there. Look at that.
Sure.
The rain hasn't dampened the spirits at all, and people have just come out there. The sun is in their hearts.
Well, actually, isn't the weather in Ireland quite a bit like this?
Absolutely.
Anyway?
Absolutely. It doesn't not rain very much.
Here's the Syracuse Fire Department Explorer Post, which is coming into view now, and these young men and women who work with the fire department and show up at fire scenes to help firefighters, giving them coffee and learning firefighting at the actual line level, so that if they want to pursue a career in firefighting, they're properly prepared to do that.
Right, and with the current volunteer shortage that we're experiencing that is really reaching a crisis level right now, this is just a wonderful program and will really help get young people interested in this very worthy career.
And there's a young person who started off.
You can hear the Rob Roy Pipers. Now, of course, the Rob Roy is from Kingston. We have several bands from Kingston, Ontario. Kingston, Ontario gets us, you know, on Channel 9.
They sure do. And hello to our folks and our friends in Kingston, and let's listen to the Rob Roy Pipe Band.
Jeff, we met the Lord Mayor of Dublin at the airport. He's here with the city manager and a whole delegation. They had been in the New York City parade yesterday where it felt like 70 degrees, said.
Here's your parade committee, Nancy, and I know you want to talk about them, all the men and women who help you put this event on every year.
That's right. You know, you really don't need good weather for a parade, but you do need an awful lot of volunteers and enthusiasm. There's Pat Wright, a former Grand Marshal, with the bishop, the two bishops, Bishop O'Keefe and Bishop Costello, and of course always with the Knights of Columbus. The bishop gave the homily at Mass this morning and had a theme of St. Patrick's role in Irish history and how we all should step in the shadow of St. Patrick.
Here's the Henniker High School Marching Band. Let's listen.
St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why? By Jack of Hearts, your floor covering store. And by True Value Hardware for quality, selection, and personal attention. Make True Value Hardware your store of first choice.
Increase the value and pleasure of your home with a beautiful maintenance-free deck or better living porch enclosure from Leo A. Klein. For over 40 years, homeowners have looked to Leo A. Klein for personalized service, quality work, fair prices, and free estimates. Visit a Leo A. Klein showroom today and let us help turn your ideas into a functional, valuable leisure living space. Order now for earliest installation, deferred payments, and financing available.
At Leo A. Klein, we work for you. Jack of Hearts, the leader in home floor covering. 4510700. We've earned our reputation, one home at a time. For carpets and no-wet floors, for tile and hardwood too. Our craftsmen deliver home service just for you. Jack of Hearts, the leader in home floor covering. 4510700.
It's time to visit one of the world's great garden spots. The Lawn and Garden Department at your local True Value hardware store, where you'll find enough nitrogen-rich Green Thumb lawn food to cover 5,000 square feet for just $6.49. This Green Thumb drop spreader with handle-mounted flow control is only $24.88. And choose your favorite Green Thumb shrub or garden fertilizer. They're just $1.77 each at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
All right, somebody you probably don't recognize when he's not in his trunks, right? Jerry Cooney, Irish-American heavyweight contender for many years, now retired and from Long Island. You on Long Island now?
Yeah, I still am from Long Island. I'm really happy to have gotten the chance to come up here and spend some very special time with some special people. I think we got the cold weather today because God said, you know, yesterday was supposed to be St. Patrick's Day, and we tried to change it today.
You can't mess with him, that's for sure. What are you doing now that you're retired?
Well, I'm here in Syracuse having a great time relay the St. Patrick's Day Parade and have a nice time. I'm in the promotion business. I signed Roberto Duran and Hector Camacho, and I'm spending some time growing up. You know, I'm getting back to college, and I'm going to re-educate myself. And
is that tough when you leave a boxing profession as you did, and boy, you spent many years in the ring, and now what do you do when you're out all of a sudden?
I think most athletes face that same very difficult transitional stage where they don't have any structure on how to you know, spend their day. You know, most people used to 9 to 5 athletes, they perform, then they take their time off. But hey, this kind of makes up for it, you know.
Yeah. Do you train every day still? You stay in shape?
I keep myself in shape. I think the older you get, the more you learn how to take care of yourself and take care of your body.
Well, Jerry, it's a pleasure talking to you, and welcome to Syracuse. Really enjoyed having you here.
Happy St. Patrick's Day in Syracuse, New York. I'll see you next year.
I didn't realize how big this guy really was. I'm glad I'm not a boxer. Thank you very much. Okay, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Rick. And, of course, we met Jerry Cooney last night at the Irish Review, and what a nice guy he is.
His nickname is Gentleman Jerry Cooney, and he is such a gentleman and such a joy and such a pleasure to meet. And he's having a great time here.
You notice what these guys are doing? They're the up-downtowners. They're doing some kind of a bagel dance out there at the Green Bagel Brigade.
The Up-Downtowners group, of course, promotes downtown activities and charities, and they're best known for their fundraisers, the Party in the Plaza, which every year raises thousands of dollars for charities here in central New York.
The Up-Downtowners help us with the Marshal duties, too. We've got, 100 Up-Downtowners that you see along the line help us every year. There they are up close.
Those green inner tubes, but they're bagels today.
They really do make a difference in central New York and downtown Syracuse.
Actually, that's pretty good what they're doing.
Sure is. They've got that figured out pretty well.
I'd like to see him try to eat one of those things. That'd be a trick.
There's some indigestion for you.
Yeah.
Next up here, the Syracuse Irish Northern Aid organization, and the Irish Northern Aid is an American-based nonprofit organization that's formed to alleviate the suffering of the dependents of Irish political prisoners. And I think they have something for the folks along the parade route.
Yeah, that was actually the Up-Downtowners. They were giving out some bagels along the parade route. There's a shot of the crowd. Nothing will stop the Irish, not just, well, it isn't raining anymore. And maybe the sun is still ready to come out. Maybe.
I told Jeff, Nancy, that the Irish were still hoping against hope for that sun to come out, because that's simply the Irish way, always optimistic. Those kids don't look cold. They're having a good time.
Well, there's a lady who's a little cold bundling up, but that's the way you've got to do it today. Bundle up with a scarf and a sweater and a jacket and just enjoy the parade.
But I'll tell you, there's something about a parade. It really is an American tradition. People love parades. And this parade, of course, a Syracuse tradition now.
Earlier, we saw the Butler Irish Dancers. They opened our parade broadcast. Here's another Irish Dancers group, the Murphy's Irish Dancers in Syracuse, led by James Montague.
And I saw John Cassane there doing a high step. There he is. The Murphy Irish Dancers welcome step dancers of all ages.
Too bad they have to wear coats today because their costumes are so beautiful.
You know, the Shamrock Queen is a Butler step dancer and has won championships in Ireland. She'll be seen a little bit later.
Here's the float from Onondaga Community College Student Services Association, Derby O'Dragon. And Rick showed us that a little bit earlier in the staging area, and there you can see Derby O'Dragon again waving to everyone.
That's something they whipped up in just the past week and a half. And it is a wonderful float.
dragon's tail there.
Dragon.
Trailing along behind.
Yeah. Dragon behind. And here you can see coming the Irish Wolfhound Club of Central New York.
The dogs of Ireland. 20 people and 20 dogs, they say. Those males, you know, Peggy and Nancy, weigh about 150 pounds.
Here's Rosie O'Grady's also there.
And there are not many wolfhounds, I guess, in Ireland today. They were an endangered species, really, in Ireland, and they've come back gladly and happily to their strength and numbers. Look at the size of those dogs. Always incredible to me to see how big they are. And quite gentle.
They actually weigh, yeah, close to 150 pounds for a male. Can you imagine when they jump up on you to greet you at the door?
Peggy, you probably heard the expression, gentle when stroked, fierce when provoked.
I won't provoke one.
There are also going to be some Irish Water Spaniels in this group somewhere, and some soft-coated Wheaton Terriers. Dogs of all sizes from Ireland. Those dogs don't look cold at all with those thick coats they have.
One with a little decorative scarf around the neck.
We can hear the strains, and there they are, of the Tom Dooley Choraliers.
They entertained yesterday as the Irish flag was raised at City Hall.
They'll be entertaining throughout the parade from their own reviewing stand this year.
Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by O'Bright, reminding you the Irish Bargain Party furniture sale ends tomorrow. By Fayetteville Dodge, a dealer that makes a difference. By Onondaga Beverage Corporation, distributor of Guinness and Harp imported Irish beers. Come on back. We'll have much more.
We celebrate your home. Yes, Ryan does. We celebrate your home. Yes, Ryan does. Build you a community, a place to grow and raise your family. Ryan celebrates your home.
Come to the grand opening of our newest community at Holly Hill. See weekend newspapers for directions.
Meet Bill, 34, up-and-coming architect. Knows what matters on the job and off. Cruising the deep blue waters. Keeping track of his investments. Staying in shape. And doing it all in style. That's why he shops at Chappell's. Chappell's, where people really matter.
And welcome back to Central New York 9's live coverage of the 1989 St. Patrick's Parade through downtown Syracuse. Jeff Scheidecker along with Peggy Finnegan and Nancy Duffy, our parade president.
And I was just mentioning that I believe Nancy is correct. It has stopped raining, an occasional little flurry, but the sky is brightening, and it's a wonderful day for a parade as far as we're concerned.
I think it's the bagpipe music that makes it feel warm. And here is the wonderful Caledonia Pipes of Buffalo. They've been here at least 2 years before, and one of the outstanding pipe bands in the Northeast.
Notre Dame Club. And they're celebrating today, not only for the parade, but because Notre Dame won last night.
As did our Syracuse Orangemen yesterday afternoon. So both the orange and the green advance in the NCAA tournament.
Notre Dame would have to win on St. Patrick's Day. It just wouldn't be right.
Resplendent in their green uniforms as I was watching some of the highlights of that game, too. They look terrific. How could they not win, right, Peggy?
Right. And look at the leprechaun. The leprechaun is hoisted by... There he is. The Notre Dame leprechaun, Ray Lopez, who just flew in this morning from Providence after the Notre Dame game.
Suspended from the end of a crane.
And of course, they have to try out for that role. Notre Dame students have been trying out to be the leprechaun since the late 40s. The daycare directors, of course, and all the little kids, and followed by the clown around clowns. You know, the Wii division has the kids and the clowns, and a lot of fun people are in this division.
Wouldn't be a parade without clowns. And, you know, I'll tell you, these costumes look so much more colorful with a little bit of overcast today. You can really see those bright colors showing through.
That's positive thinking, Jim. Well, you know, Jeff, despite the weather, we have only had 2 bands cancel compared to some years we have as many as a dozen.
Let me ask you a question about the mummers, too, because I know that there's some concern with their weather. That the weather might keep them limited a little bit. What do you hear? Anything of an update?
So far, everything is fine. They have agreed to march as long as it isn't raining, and it isn't raining. So the mummers will be appearing later in Division 6, and then afterwards, of course, you can almost see it on the marquee of the Landmark Theater that they will be performing in concert at about 3:30 this afternoon.
Terrific. Well, we'll look forward to them.
Well, it's appropriate, you know, there are ice cream cones this year.
Well, they should melt.
They won't melt today.
No, they won't. They'll look like they're melting.
That's the Tonawanda Clown Band.
Led by Michael Jackson, Jeff?
Someone who looks a lot like him.
These are all policemen from Tonawanda.
They have performed in Disneyland.
The official candy of the St. Patrick's Parade?
That's right. M&M's keeps the energy going. Those long hours. And M&M's are going to be distributed throughout the parade route also.
There's the Kool-Aid Man just went by. I remember watching him when I was little, and suddenly I'd be, Mom, Kool-Aid, please.
In fact, showing you how we're getting older, they brought those spots back to appeal to us who are, some of us anyway, who are now parents. And they brought the Kool-Aid Man back. There's Mr. Peanut, too. Another character from advertising in the past. There's our Grand Marshal, John Dillon.
And Mrs. Dillon.
Both enjoying themselves and staying warm as they review the parade as it passes in front of the reviewing stand.
Well, you know what they say, the test of a good parade is when the weather isn't that good, that people still come out.
Well, the crowd looks terrific along Salina Street, and in fact has grown pretty substantially.
There are the money employees. And there's the money.
That's right. The Mutual of New York employees spend a lot of their time contributing money and volunteer effort to help community organizations here in Central New York. Here's the way to get down the parade route quickly.
And you can hear the strains of the pipes and drums of the FBI, the Emerald Society of Peekskill, New York, which play at all the FBI functions in the downstate FBI in the Peekskill area.
Well, let's listen.
There we have the Scenic Valley 4-H Club. You can see them there with the horses. What a wonderful opportunity for young kids.
They're splendid in their green coats today, keeping them warm and showing their Irish spirit.
Of course, it's sponsored by Dot Burkhart, whose maiden name was Higgins. She, therefore, is a true Higgins hero.
Here's the Burlington Teen Tour Band, another Canadian group from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Their brilliant red tunics and gold trim, blue pants, white shoes and gloves. Look at those uniforms. We're going to get a chance to hear them here as they march closer to us.
Right over there in that first reviewing stand. See if they can help. Right from here. Yeah. One of the biggest bands in the parade, 210 strong from Burlington, Ontario.
Here are some of our first representatives, Peggy, of the Girl Scouts of Central New York.
We're going to see a lot more of the Girl Scouts. I wonder if they brought some of their cookies along with them, Jeff.
Well, the Girl Scout cookies, just one of the many things Girl Scouts are doing all over Central New York, including marching in this parade, 100 strong today.
That's right. The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Patient's Choice Incorporated, the health plan from your physician. By Wegmans, where every day you get our best. By Ryan Holmes, we celebrate your home. Stay with us.
You don't have to be Irish to enjoy O'Duncan O'Bright's Irish Bargain Party.
It's a fun-filled event featuring our lowest prices on the largest selection of furniture in New York State.
Hi, I'm Patrick O'Bright, inviting you to O'Duncan O'Bright's Irish Bargain Party.
We have comfortable sectionals for your living room, rich cherry bedrooms, elegant dining rooms for your dining pleasure.
See these and many more Irish bargains at special savings. That's O'Duncan O'Bright, O'Duncan O'Bright, O'Duncan O'Bright.
Now, revelations in home comfort. Tech 2000 air conditioners, a new standard. And Weathermaker gas furnaces, the most advanced, quiet, lasting, our most comfortable ever. Carrier. Buy now with nothing to pay until Labor Day.
Call Falso Heating for details on the $150 rebate. Offer available to homeowners until July 1st on model TKDL units. We're not comfortable until you are.
These days, with all kinds of rebates, financing deals, warranties, and the like, the big difference is the dealer. Over the years, Fayetteville Dodge has served thousands of customers who feel we've sold them the right car at the right price. And we think we can do the same for you, whatever your automotive needs. We have tough Dodge trucks, Colt imports, Dodge Caravans, and of course, the full line of great Dodge automobiles, including the exciting new Spirit. Stop in today.
Fayetteville Dodge, behind the Fayetteville Mall, the dealer that makes the difference.
WIXT, Central New York 9, making good things happen.
And welcome back to the Central New York 9 coverage of the Syracuse St. Patrick's Parade. Nancy Duffy, Peggy Finnegan, Jeff Scheidecker here. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast.
It's a wonderful parade so far, despite the weather. I don't think it's bothering anybody along the parade route. I really don't.
It isn't. Earlier, we had a fighting Irishman named Jerry Cooney with Rick Gary, and Mike Price is standing by with another fighting Irishman. Mike?
Thanks, Jeff. This is the Leprechaun from the Fighting Irish. He comes to us by way of, well, South Bend through Providence to Syracuse from the University of Notre Dame. Ray Lopez. Boy, we're glad you could be with us today, Ray.
Well, I'm really glad I could be here. This parade, I guess you might say, is a representation of kind of pulling the community together. I've really noticed that. It seems like everybody comes out and works on the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's just an honor and a privilege to be here. It's great.
Tell us a little bit about being the Leprechaun from the University of Notre Dame. Are you the one and only Leprechaun this season?
Yes, sir, I am. There's only one Leprechaun, and that's me. I'm the official school mascot. And basically what I do is I represent the sports at Notre Dame, plus social activities, alumni activities, and whatever else, things like this. People call me up all the time, ask me to come on out, and as long as I get permission from the athletic department, I'm ready to go.
Now, you were in Providence last night for a big game. You beat Vanderbilt with not an awful lot of trouble, but now you're going to come up against Georgetown, which squeaked by Princeton by 1 point. Are you concerned about that?
Without a doubt. We beat Vanderbilt convincingly, I'd say. It's probably the best game we've played all year, and I think we're really peaking, which is great. We've got a big game against Georgetown. They're at a low right now. They barely beat Princeton, but without a doubt, we're very concerned about it, and I think we can win if we play the right game like Princeton did.
Well, Ray, thank you, and thank the University of Notre Dame. Pleasure to have the Leprechaun with us this year. Thanks very much for being at our parade. Good luck to the Fighting Irish. Now let's get back to Jeff, Nancy, Peggy.
Thank you very much, Mike. Well, we see passing us now the float for Project Children. And we mentioned before what a wonderful project that is, bringing children over from war-torn Northern Ireland and showing them that peace is possible, even among Protestants and Catholics.
Really, Nancy, we were also saying that, as you've mentioned to us before, that really Kathleen Kelly is your inspiration. And the organization that she heads up is the inspiration for really the parade.
That's right. We've always maintained that peace in Ireland is our ultimate aim, and Kathleen does more for that than anyone. Bringing the children here every summer, you know, Central New Yorkers are exposed to what's going on over there through the children and really grow attached to those kids. We look forward to seeing them every year come back.
You know, here's some folks from another parade, the Joy Germs. Joy Germ Joan White, who has a Joy Germ parade every summer in downtown Syracuse, spreading cheer and joy. And the idea is to smile, even if things look a little bleak. Spread a little joy into other people's lives.
Miss Bristol Meyer is one of the corporate sponsors of the parade. You know, so many, and there's TJ's Big Boy, so many of the area businesses and industries get involved. and actually help sponsor the many bands that you see. And otherwise, we wouldn't have a parade. We really are indebted to the corporate community for everything they do.
That big boy is a big boy.
Not as big as Jerry Cooney.
No. I read Jerry Cooney is 6'7", 35, 40 pounds. He's a big man.
Well, there wasn't anybody last night at the Irish Review who didn't remark how big Jerry Cooney was in person. We've all seen him on television before, but he's a well-built young man.
You know, Jeff, I don't know if you knew that that's a quality of the Irish, being big. You know, you always hear about the big Irishmen.
The leprechauns. That's right. They're not all leprechauns, right?
Not all leprechauns, no.
Here's some more antique fire trucks, Beck.
That's right. We promised you'd see a lot of fire trucks. And this is a 1942 antique fire engine.
And I think also a 1929 antique ladder truck from the Fisher Bay Irregulars, who are restoring these fire trucks to original condition.
And that is the end of the first division.
And Rick Gary is along the parade route over at the reviewing stand with a very special guest. Rick?
That is very special. It's the Lord Mayor of Dublin, Ireland, Ben Briscoe. And Lord Mayor, it's so very nice to have you here.
Well, thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Chattering teeth and all.
Oh, chattering teeth, but the cold is more than matched by the warmth of the people. You've just got wonderful people here in Syracuse.
Is this a little typical like Irish weather for this time of the year?
Well, it wouldn't be as cold as this. We could get weather like this, but I believe it was beautiful in Dublin yesterday. Very often it is. Like New York was magnificent, and here yesterday. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But this is really cold by our standards.
Okay. You're on a 13-city, 23-day tour of the U.S. Why is that?
I'm on a 20-city, 5-week tour of the United States to promote Ireland, to encourage Americans to come to Ireland and meet our people. I always say, if you don't enjoy yourself in Ireland, it's your fault, not ours. The Irish people are probably the warmest people in the world, and I certainly think the people here in Syracuse, by their warmth and hospitality, would really appreciate that. It's a beautiful country. The scenery is great, the food is great, but the people are very, very special.
We have a lot of special Irish people here today, too, and it says a lot for your country and for ours also. We have a nice presentation to be presented to you by the Syracuse Press and Dr. Charles Benson. They have some Irish studies.
Before he presents me, I just wish your viewers a very happy greeting from Ireland and from the citizens of Dublin. On their behalf, as their Lord Mayor, may I wish you all well and you. And even though St. Patrick's Day was yesterday, happy St. Patrick's Day every day of the year. And remember, when you do get to Ireland, come and look me up, as you say, and I'd be delighted to meet any of you that call. Bless you all.
Very good. Now, Dr. Charles Bronson, would you make the presentation, please?
Clearly.
Back, I should say.
Thank you. We have a growing series in Irish Studies that we're very proud of, and I'm here with the editor of the series, Richard Mallett from Syracuse University. Sandy Sternlich is also from Syracuse University. He has edited 3 volumes of the poetry, the plays, and the short stories of the great Cullum, one of your fine authors.
Indeed, yes.
And we'd love to give you a set of these books.
Well, thank you very, very much. They're really beautiful. I'm going to place these in our Center City Library, and I congratulate you, sir, on editing these books. It's really wonderful, and it's this kind of continual flow between our two countries, which is so special to us and so special to the Irish-American relationship. I really thank you. What a fine man he was. He's one of Ireland's favorite poets.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Well, we're going to shift right back now to Peggy and Jeff.
Thanks, Rick. Terrific day the Lord Mayor is having, and just seems to be enjoying himself, and even though, as he said, it's a little cold, he's enjoying the warmth of our hospitality.
And what a warm person he is, and a great ambassador for Dublin.
And here's just one of 2 Popeyes we're going to see today.
The smaller version.
The smaller version from Popeye's Chicken, and I guess that's a chicken too. And they've helped us a lot with the parade this year. Most Holy Rosary Parish,
Again, that's the parish of Father John Ahern, who is a former national chaplain of the Ancient Order of Hibernians. You heard Father Ahern last night as he serenades the Shamrock Queen with the song The Roses of Tralee.
And of course, the theme of the parade, Higgins Heroes, Most Holy Rosary Church says our heroes are the youth of our parish.
Wind starting to blow just a little bit.
That little guy was going to lose his hat.
And the Boy Scouts, not to be outdone by the Girl Scouts.
This Boy Scout troop sponsored by Most Holy Rosary, so that's why they're marching right along with the Most Holy Rosary folks. Some more of the heroes, as Peggy mentioned, the youth of that parish.
And you know, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts teach those kids a respect for their environment and respect for their community, and really a wonderful organization for young people, but they are having some difficulty getting children to join the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts anymore.
Here's the Corcoran Marching Cougars, and let's listen. The Corcoran Cougars Marching Band, another one of our great Central New York bands. Nancy?
And I see now my general manager, who is subbing as a cameraman. My gosh, Steve Crockwitz can do everything.
He sure can, and he's having fun doing it.
And he can't pay any attention to us now because his camera is the one you're looking at right there.
Hey, I think he does a pretty good job. What do you say?
Mike Price is along the parade route. In fact, I think Mike is in the parade. Mike, what are you doing down there?
There's the balloon. Where's Mike?
There he is. We can't hear him, but we can see him.
Hold on to it, Mike.
That must be difficult to maneuver.
Well, that is a shamrock. It's not a Girl Scout emblem like I thought it might be. But there's other things coming here. Peggy and Jeff and Nancy will tell you about those.
And so what was it like to drag that balloon along? He's going to have some practice later, I think.
This truck is the Onondaga Nation Reservation Band.
These are 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and the second year they've been in the parade, Nancy. Let's listen. One of the smaller bands in the parade, but certainly an enthusiastic one, the Onondaga Nation School Band.
That's right. The kids of the reservation, very important to this parade, as are all the ethnic groups that are in the parade, not just the Irish. Everybody's Irish today.
That's right, and lots more
more of the parade to come. The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by PNC. The price champion people care about you. By Chapel, serving Central New York with fashion for family and home. By Patients Choice Incorporated, the health plan from your physician. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Margie. I used to hate doing windows in this old house, but since I had Leo A. Klein install these new replacement windows, window cleaning's no bother. Keeps the draft out in winter, too. The husband likes that. High cost of fuel and all. You hate doing windows? Do you need a new door? Call Leo A. Klein. No matter how old or new, Leo A. Klein will work for you.
It certainly is exciting to watch today's parade in downtown Syracuse, but you know, you don't have to wait for a parade to enjoy a visit to downtown. There's lots going on almost any time. If you haven't yet visited the shops in Armory Square or ridden the new Salt City Trolley, you may have missed part of the excitement of downtown. How about the new galleries on South Salina Street or the exciting variety of downtown restaurants? More than 200 shops are also located right here. Isn't it time you visited downtown again?
There's a lot more to healthcare coverage than just the blues. Now there's a choice. Patients Choice, the area's fastest growing health maintenance organization and the only plan established by Central New York physicians. Our extensive prepaid coverage through more than 600 area physicians includes most checkups and tests with no claim forms necessary. To learn more, ask your employer or call Patients Choice today for healthcare coverage that's sweet music to your ears.
And of course they are world famous for some of their performances.
Central New York 9's live coverage of the 7th annual St. Patrick's Parade continues downtown Syracuse.
Hey, Nancy, did you get that band all the way from Connecticut just for me? You know, I'm
it was
I'm
for
a
you.
Connecticut native, so it's great to see a little bit of home. Although I've been in Central New York so long, I feel like I've been here forever. And happy to be.
Well, you talk like one of us, Jeff. The Irish of Elbridge, also known as the Blarney Bunch. You know, Elbridge is where the first Ancient Order of Hibernian post in Central New York comes from.
They dressed right for the occasion. Those raincoats. And
the St. Lucy's has merged with Christ the King Church to walk together. They have a twinning program with each other, a suburban and an inner city parish, and they strive to grow in mutual understanding and friendship. And what could be more friendly than a St. Patrick's Parade?
Two very different parishes working together. That's why they feel that their twinning program, as you described, Nancy, is one that's going to help both of them. St. Lucy's, of course, in Syracuse, and Christ the King in the Bayberry area of Liverpool.
A lot of Irishmen grew up in St. Lucy's Parish, including Bishop Harrison.
And here's the delegation from the Solvay Fire Department with another contingent, and instead of green carnations, they have green Hawaiian leis on.
They have their special style over in Solvay.
They're hoping for some of that Hawaiian weather.
I think the only year where it came close to this was the first year, Jeff. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
It was a little nippy, but and we did get a big crowd, but nothing like the crowd that came out today. Kids love fire trucks. No? Well, not only kids. We have some people in our own newsroom that like to.
I was going to say, big girls like fire trucks, big girls and boys too.
And the Taunton Fire Department. Jeff, this band that will be coming up momentarily got here at 7 o'clock this morning, was one of the bands that warmed up and got dressed at Niagara Mohawk.
And let's listen.
Speaking.
Let's listen to the Ambassadors Band of Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada.
Girls. They're the ones that, you know, first saw the Lord Mayor last summer in Ireland and talked him into coming to Syracuse today. A group of women that you find in all areas of Central New York life. One is the secretary to Coach McPherson. One is the secretary to former State Fair Director Joe O'Hara. A couple in City Hall. They're everywhere.
And they're called the Birthday Girls because they just love to celebrate birthdays. And we all do.
Nancy, what's your success with getting the bands from Canada? We've seen 3 or 4 already from Canada.
Well, you know, the Canadians do 2 things well: play hockey and play in a band. And every little community up there has Santa Claus parade, so they're used to the winter. And they love to come down here. It's a real treat for them to come to Syracuse. They go on shopping sprees, and they love Syracuse.
Well, a story that our Dan Cummings of Central New York 9 was telling us about Peter Jennings of World News Tonight. Peter Jennings was a young man growing up in Canada. He and his mother used to come to Syracuse on a regular basis to visit the city. It was considered a big trip to come from Ontario, Canada to Syracuse. And today the tradition continues, I guess.
That's right. And we have some, of course, from the far reaches of Ontario, which we'll see a little bit later. They're the Irish potato ladies, and they're potato men and tiny taters, and they're a tradition every year, and they give out, of course, potatoes along the parade route.
I hope their aim is good.
We're going to have a lot of mashed potatoes on this route. Looks like the potato ladies are riding this year. That must be their Spudmobile.
They're from O'Connor Insurance, a good Irish insurance agency here in Central New York.
It's the Parade's insurance company. People don't realize that you have to have parade insurance. St. Vincent de Paul Group, it's called Grasshopper Hill. It's always been known as Grasshopper Hill. And that's their float right there, Peggy. St. Vincent's, of course, is the home parish of Kathleen Kelly, and they've always been involved in the parade. Inspired again by her. Roberta DiStefano. Every year that parade gets bigger and bigger.
Here's the Albany Police Pipes and Drums from Albany, New York. Let's listen.
about this pipe band and how they came about. Richie Walsh, who is commander of the CID of the Syracuse Police Department, was attending a police conference in Albany and got talking to some of them about their pipe band and said, hey, you want to go to the world's greatest parade?
And here they are.
Syracuse Sports Corporation, right behind the Albany Police Pipes. Syracuse Sports Corporation bringing the National Senior Olympic Games in 1991. It's going to be a big event when they come.
Sure is, and they're already involved, of course, in the annual IRA Regatta on Onondaga Lake, the Miller Balloon Festival, the hydroplane races, the city-county softball leagues.
I think we should explain when you say the IRA Regatta, that that's the international regatta, not anything to do with anything Irish.
The 1989 Syracuse St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Leo A. Klein. Quality windows, doors, and porches. Stop during the home show and support the Ronald McDonald House. By the Downtown Committee, Downtown has it all. And by Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why? Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the parade in a minute.
These days, with all kinds of rebates, financing deals, warranties, and the like, the big difference is the dealer. Over the years, Fayetteville Dodge has served thousands of customers who feel we've sold them the right car at the right price. And we think we can do the same for you, whatever your automotive needs. We have tough Dodge trucks, Colt imports, Dodge Caravans, and of course, the full line of great Dodge automobiles, including the exciting new Spirit. Stop in today.
Fayetteville Dodge, behind the Fayetteville Mall, the dealer that makes the difference.
Peter Coleman here, speaking for Guinness and Harp. A lot of tradition going on. A lot of tradition this 17th. These are the real items. 10 million glasses consumed each day. How can that many people be wrong? Guinness and Harp, the only way to go. Ireland in a glass. Schlanta.
Guinness Stout and Harp Lager, distributed to your favorite clubs and retailers by Onondaga Beverage Corporation.
Welcome back to downtown Syracuse and Central New York 9's live coverage of the 7th annual St. Patrick's Parade. It's been a wonderful parade. What's this here? We've got a locomotive.
Is this the entry from Borden?
That's right.
It's the Dairy Princesses and Elsie the Borden Cow on the Borden Good Food Train. Winding its way down Salina Street.
All the Dairy Princesses on board. And, of course, Elsie the cow is there someplace.
This is a replica of a real train. It was constructed in St. Petersburg, Florida in the mid-1950s. It's part of a circus exhibit. And the old cow catcher on the front end of Elsie's locomotive is a replica of the cow catcher built on, or the locomotive built in 1857. Known as Old 157.
Oh, there's Elsie. You can see her over there. And the Murphy dancers. O'Keefe Irish step dancers.
Under the direction of Dr. Mary Lynn Collins. It's our third Irish dancing group of today.
They're hardy girls. Doing their step dancing all along the entire 1 mile parade route. And that winds up, those
divisions. We're now starting on the 3rd division. The PNC Perseron. Look at how beautiful those horses are.
It's the eye-catching and impressive six-horse Percheron parade units from PNC, driven today by Joe McCullough and Doug Corey. What are those horses, Peggy?
Dapple Gray Gelding. And that wagon, by the way, is authentic. It's a 100-year-old show wagon.
You hear a lot about Clydesdale horses, but this PNC entry is the Percherons, bred for their size and ability to carry and pull heavy loads. And one of 5 breeds of draft horses in the world. And there's the PNC trademark bag on the back of the Percheron pulled wagon. And a more modern...
That's right.
A more modern transportation device, the truck that actually carries the Percherons all over upstate central New York as they travel to events.
Jeez, that truck could transport some of the parade.
Look at the beautiful artwork on the side of that truck, too.
And, of course, followed by the Amerscott Pipe Band. Pipe band is from Kingston, New York.
And what would parade be without a few antique cars? And that one's sponsored by WRHP.
And you know who's inside those antique cars?
I think it's Roy H. Park who sponsors those cars, and look who's behind the car.
James O. Foreman with the Queen.
Our parade queen, who is once again this year a delightful young lady.
And Carmel Johnston, and she is a Butler step dancer, a world champion step dancer, 19 years old, a student at OCC, the daughter of Gus Johnston, well known on the West Side. She'll be going to New York later to compete in the Rose of Tralee competition. Very vivacious young lady.
And she's been having a terrific time this whole weekend, and really since she was chosen a couple of weeks ago. Really looking forward to the competition in New York. And as Peggy mentioned, accompanied by Central New York 9's Jim Foreman, you saw there.
And Ann is really a charming young girl. She really is.
Here, of course, is a State Farm fire truck. State Farm Insurance, one of our many corporate sponsors. And there is a runner-up in the Shamrock Queen competition. The 2 runner-ups there in their furs from Giorgio's.
Colleen Mulcahy and Katie Hunt were the 2 runners-up you just saw.
And what is the...
Can they fit any more people on there, Jim?
Yeah, that truck is loaded with folks wearing those State Farm insurance hats, that's for sure. An old Mack fire engine.
The guy in the hat over there.
I wonder what they do to keep warm up there.
Well, I think they have the same thing we have. They have some cups of styrofoam cups of coffee. Hopefully they're warm.
Yeah, I need it.
Thousands and thousands of people involved in this parade. I mean, when you consider just, what, 7,000 marchers alone.
That's right.
And there were the folks just a minute ago from Holy Family School and Church in Fairmount. And now the Adirondack Pipes and Drums. Let's listen.
Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Wegmans, where every day you get our best. By Ryan Homes, we celebrate your home. By Falso Heating, we're not comfortable until you are. Stay with us. The parade continues. We'll be right back.
We celebrate your home. Yes, Ryan does. We celebrate your home. Yes, Ryan does. Build you a community, a place to grow and raise your family. Ryan celebrates your home.
See your nearby Ryan Home community featuring superior fireplaces installed by CNY Fireplace.
Every job needs its own special tools, but now there's a tool that can help you do nearly every job. The Hardware Week Circular from True Value Hardware Stores, where this TrueFlex 22-inch rake by True Temper is just $3.49, and this Master Mechanic 24-inch Super Guide is only $1.99. Then get Servas Spray Enamel, 11 ounces for just 99 cents, and these rugged Servas garden tools for only $4.99 each at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
We were just about to sell our firstborn to buy dress shoes for everybody. Then he was saved by this Payless poster. Payless has dress shoes for the whole family. All the same styles that you see in these other shoe stores, only they're all on sale for about half as much. So thanks to Payless, we can afford to keep Tommy. Thank you.
Right now, save on men's dress and casual shoes. The latest styles are on sale for just $10.99 to $14.99 at Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why?
Welcome back, everyone, to Central New York 9's broadcast of the Syracuse St. Patrick Parade. I'm Jeff Scheidecker, along with Peggy Finnegan and Nancy Duffy.
I was just talking to Sheila Egan-Shattuck, my vice president, and Bernie King, who is on the board of directors, and they said, don't forget to mention the valiant work that is being done by the ham radio operators that's keeping this parade running.
Okay, we won't. And here is the C.A. Palmer Fife and Drum Corps of Palmyra, New York, coming into view now. And let's listen. C.A. Palmer Fife and Drum Corps, organized first in Palmyra in 1961.
And they wear the uniform of the Continental Army of 1783.
There's an unusual rainbow. It's the Syracuse Blueprint Company float and an Irish rainbow. With pictures on the side of some of the landmarks of downtown Syracuse. It's amazing to me when I keep on seeing all these people who have come out that the weather hasn't affected them at all. I guess finally people have accepted Syracuse March 17th, March 18th as a time to get out, that spring is here no matter what it is.
That's right. It's a celebration of spring. Spring has arrived, but you wouldn't know it from the weather today.
Of course, is the Eagles of Central New York, and they're a wonderful band, too. They're from the Camden, Utica area.
Actually, their mailing address is Verona, and we're going to get a chance to hear them, I think.
walking. Salty Sam usually rides with the horse and wagon from the elbow room. I don't see the horse or the wagon, but there's Salty.
Well, maybe he decided the best way to keep warm was to get some exercise while he was at it.
There's the elbow room now, the two little leprechauns.
We're going to check in with Rick Gary now, who has a very special guest for us. Rick?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You look nice and warm. Tell me your secret. Did you march the whole parade?
No, I was in the car most of the way, and then I got out just at the very end.
Well,
I cheated.
You're a very delightful queen, and you're going to go on to the Rose of Tralee contest, right?
Yes, in June.
In June. It'll be a little bit warmer then.
I hope so, definitely.
Well, what type of things or kinds of things do they do in that contest, do you know?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard too much about it, but I'm sure they'll be letting me know or whatever.
You're going to be doing any of your step dancing?
I hope so. That'd be nice. Yeah.
You didn't do any here today. I thought maybe you'd be doing that.
I got lucky. I was very lucky. I didn't have to dance at all, no. And everyone's going to let me know about that later when they're dancing down the streets. All the little kids are like, it's not fair, but all I have to do is wave.
Well, that's good. You look very nice, and congratulations, and good luck on the upcoming contest.
Thank you.
Stay warm.
I will, definitely.
All right, back to a couple of cold folks.
Yeah, we're a little chilly, but again, the spirits are warm, Rick. And I want to talk a little bit about the Bunch of Blarneys here, this Higgins Heroes float that is coming up. And a Bunch of Blarneys this year dedicated their float, Peggy, to Mrs. Mary Benson, who passed away in her sleep yesterday, and our prayers are with her family. Her son Ken was one of the float builders, so they've dedicated their hard work. And this is, that's Tom Higgins on top of that float.
That's Tom.
Tom Higgins, our leprechaun. Landscape golf course surrounded by live trees.
Right.
What's he swinging there? Golf club.
Got a big golf club in his hand.
And that golf ball looks to be about 3 feet in diameter, I think.
Not too big for Tom Higgins, though. He loves his golf.
Member of the Bandits, you know, there's a group that always does play golf regularly. Here's the band now, the Cherry Valley School, Cherry Valley Springfield School, marching high school students, their first Syracuse parade.
Marching Patriots.
One of the many bands that is directed by a woman, Melissa Kaywood is the band director.
Drum major Jane Hansen and guard captain Susan Salisbury. They're from Cherry Valley Springfield School, and that's a newly merged district with only 750 students, and look at the band they've got already. Just terrific.
Really.
And here we had the Loretto Geriatric Center, meeting the needs of our elderly in this area with dignity and respect.
Top of the morning. That's great to see them coming out, some of the residents of Loretto.
And right behind them, the seniors SOS Express and folks from the Nottingham Senior Residential Center here in the Syracuse area. And I know there are a lot of seniors watching these proceedings live here on Central New York 9 right now, and to all of them, we wish you a happy St. Patrick's weekend, and we hope you're enjoying this parade.
Happy St. Joseph's Day.
That's right, and I have a special message to the residents of the Auburn, the Mercy Rehabilitation Center over there in Auburn, and top of the morning, top of the day to you over there. I know you're watching. Father Regis marched earlier, is their chaplain over there, and he wanted to make sure we said hello to them.
Well, we're managing to stay fairly warm up here. We are, we have a blanket and
and a heater.
A little electric heater. we're not able to get up and move around the way some of the folks along the parade route are, but the crowds are staying strong and folks are having a great time.
You can hear a lot of laughter in the background, and people are breaking out in song every once in a while, so that's a sure sign that people are having fun. And that's what a parade is all about.
Absolutely. No rain and no snow right now. The clouds have lifted a little bit. It's still cool, but we're dry for now.
And of course, the National Guard, you see them walking every once in a while into the picture. We have the National Guard here helping with crowd control. Up in our own marshals, we have marshals, up downtowners, and Niagara Mohawk marshals all helping.
Some of the folks lining the parade route having a great time today, no doubt about that. Look at the balloons.
I have a feeling some of those balloons, are they going to be released?
That's right. That is
a parade route somewhere, Nancy?
It's the WXRA float, and the Star Dusters are on that float somewhere, and as they get closer, you're going to see a mammoth display of balloon power.
What a sight that's going to be. Is that a rainbow up there? Sure it is.
Rainbow of balloons. The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade here on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Jack of Hearts, your floor covering store, by True Value Hardware, your store of first choice, and by O'Duncan O'Brights. Their biggest furniture sale of the year ends tomorrow. As those balloons are released, we'll invite you to stay tuned for more of Central New York 9's coverage of the St. Patrick's Parade.
Meet Tim and Lisa, typical teenagers. They know the score, in school and out. Staying on top with what's hot. Dancing to their own beat. Keeping up with the competition. Looking wicked good all the way. That's why they shop at Chappell's New Domain and Junior Way. Chappell's, where people really matter.
Peter Coleman here, speaking for Guinness and Harp. A lot of tradition going on. A lot of tradition this 17th. These are the real items. 10 million glasses consumed each day. How can that many people be wrong? Guinness and Harp, the only way to go. Ireland in a glass. Schlanta.
Guinness Stout and Harp Lager, distributed to your favorite clubs and retailers by Onondaga Beverage Corporation.
Now, revelations in home comfort. Tech 2000 air conditioners, a new standard, and Weathermaker gas furnaces, the most advanced, quiet, lasting, our most comfortable ever. Carrier. Buy now with nothing to pay until Labor Day.
Call Fossil Heating for details on the $150 rebate. Offer available to homeowners until July 1st on model TKDL units. We're not comfortable until you are.
WIXT Central New York 9, making good things happen.
Parade, brought to you in part by O'Duncan O'Bright, whose Irish Bargain Party sale continues today and tomorrow. By Fayetteville Dodge, a dealer that makes a difference. By Onondaga Beverage, distributors of Guinness and Harp imported Irish beers. By PNC Food Markets, the unbeatable price champion. By Chappell's, the store that's always personally yours. By Patient's Choice, the health plan from your physician. And by Ryan Homes, we celebrate your home.
Welcome back, everybody. Peggy Finnegan, along with Nancy Duffy and Jeff Scheidecker, bringing you all the color and excitement of the 7th Annual St. Patrick's Parade.
Here's the Lakeshore Brassman Drum and Bugle Corps. Let's listen. Lakeshore Brassmen from Port Dover, Ontario, Canada. Yet another one of our Canadian groups, and there's a great place to watch the balloon.
It's all right.
The parade from and the balloon launches that we've had along the routes, and the mounted patrol and everyone else.
Go green.
Bird's eye view.
A couple leprechauns.
This is the Merchants Bank entry, which I believe was the sponsor for that last band that we just saw.
That band, you know, is the Lakeshore Brassmen, run by Don Hull, and he's the one who is the descendant of the inventor of processed cheese that started in Syracuse. And he is from Port Dover, Ontario. So they all come home. Now we're going to the next division, Division 4. And a band that has always come to this parade, and the Queen Village Queens. It's an all-female drum and bugle corps, and you'll see that it's in full strength. The cold doesn't stop those females.
Well, let's listen.
Former Grand Marshal wearing a sash from last year when Jimmy Walsh and his father, Bill Walsh, were the Grand Marshals.
And last year, it was Common Council President Walsh, and this year it's Representative in Congress Walsh.
The irony is that his father, Bill Walsh, when he was mayor in 1957, was when the Lord Mayor, Ben Briscoe's father, Robert Briscoe, came to Syracuse. And Ben Briscoe was remembering that today, was the last time he was in town. His father was in town.
Oh, Hafner's Red Barn Country Store.
But they're the Green Barn today.
That's right. They just keep coming, Nancy.
And so do the people. You notice that the crowd shifts. Some people leave, other people are just arriving as the day goes on.
Coming, we see the Educational Pot of Gold. It's sponsored by the Syracuse Educational Opportunity Center. And the Pot of Gold, of course, at the end of the rainbow, if you can find it.
And the gold will not be coins, but rather gold books, rulers, and what's better than education?
Might note here what you may have heard me talking about with Mike Price, our reporter along the parade route, told me that one of the Syracuse police horses threw his rider, Sergeant Walt Kaczynski, but he's fine. He was not hurt at all. Was spooked a little bit by a band that started up right in front of the horse. And that's what's slowing the parade down just a little bit. But everybody's fine, and horse and rider are okay. And the parade goes on.
And for those, many of the young people waiting along the parade line is anticipating the arrival of the big Popeye. And we have heard that the Popeye is inflated, that they had run into a little bit of trouble earlier on, but the Popeye balloon is inflated and will be limboing down London Street.
That's always fun to watch. And isn't Popeye going to have a surprise guest?
His very best friend is coming along, and we're still keeping it a secret.
There's been lots of speculation who that is, so we'll keep the suspense right here and see if we can...
You know, there is some interesting remarks made by John Dillon yesterday at the Syracuse Rotary Club. People don't realize that the patron saint of Ireland is not St. Patrick, but is St. Bridget. And the official color of Ireland is not green, but blue.
Well, here's the Camden Continental Fife and Drum Corps of Camden, New York, the oldest fife and drum corps in the state of New York.
Your feet are frozen, jump up and down. Do the jig.
Thank you.
Fife and Drum Corps played at President Grant's inauguration. Just one of our
I don't think it was these folks that
No, no, it wasn't, Jeff. They're just many of our Higgins heroes today. Of course, that being the theme of the parade, named after Tom Higgins. And if you haven't had the pleasure of meeting that wonderful man, you're going to now. Mike Price?
Well, the leader of this whole group here is the leader of Higgins Heroes. This is Tom Higgins himself. Mr. Higgins, it's quite a day, isn't it?
Great day. Great day, Mike.
Great day for the Irish, whether it be rain, snow, or sleet.
Snow or cold, that's right. Yeah.
What do you think of the parade so far?
I think the parade's beautiful. Great. It's the greatest one we've had as far as the exhibits are concerned and bands and things like that. I think it's the best parade. Unfortunately, it's so cold.
But the weather hasn't dampened your spirits at all.
Not a bit, not a bit.
And you'll be back with us for next year and many more, I'm sure.
Good Lord willing.
Mr. Higgins, it's right that the parade should be Higgins Heroes, because you are, I guess, the hero of most of us here, as the chairman and Grand Marshal Emeritus. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks for introducing us to Tom Higgins, who's, Nancy, very, very special to this parade.
Very special to everyone. Everyone who knows Tom Higgins says the same thing. He is without fault. He's 80 years old. He's a true gentleman. He has no ego. For many years, he has been the backbone of the Democratic Party. He's been asked to run many, many times. Here are the old rascals. They're a group, aren't they? My gosh.
They sure are.
Nellie Mahar and the Grand Leprechaun, and there is their float.
There's their float.
A wee barrel of homemade leprechaun ale.
And
among them, the former stone throwers, by the way, are there in that group. Kenny Davis and crew.
Stone throwers' claim to fame is our famous stoplight on Temporary Hill, right?
That's right.
Green is always on the top.
There's the Utica Banderosa.
Notice that the Banderosa has shamrocks on their hats. It's an Italian band from Utica. And of course, very appropriate for the St. Joseph's Parade, where the St. Patrick's Parade has invited the St. Joseph's procession, actually, to march along with us.
There's the Expert Landscaping Company.
Decorated evergreen with green carnations. I've seen a lot of those today, Peggy. And the folks from the VA Veterans Administration Medical Center marching along there.
And there's another dragon.
And a little dragon.
It's more than the one. We tried to get the famous Cornell University dragon, but it was slain, as it always is every year. Tom Young, the mayor, was willing to go down and save it with the Syracuse Fire Department. One of these days, we're going to get that dragon.
Here's the Lafayette Community Band of Lafayette Avenue in Syracuse. right?
Yes, the Barbara Garrett Lafayette Band. Bishop Ludden High School. They help us with their junior marshals. And
I think this is the entry from Students Against Driving Drunk. We talk about them every year, and probably a good time to remind some of those folks who may be enjoying a little adult beverage right now that if you're going to do that and enjoy the rest of the parade with us, please don't drink and then drive, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Important message of the parade, of course. And we do have mandates against drinking, discouraging anyone to drink along the parade route. And there's a big family party, a non-alcoholic family party at the War Memorial following the parade. And the bands are marching over there at this hour for Project Children. Here's another St. Patrick. It looks like a St. Patrick walking along with the Adventures Club. The James Square St. Patrick. Someone is saying it's a happy St. Patrick's Day.
That was yesterday, but this has been like a 48-hour long St. Patrick's Day.
That is the friends of Michael J. Summers, right there. Someday I'd like to meet Michael J. Summers. He has an awful lot of friends.
Many of them are in the parade today, too. It looks like.
That's right, and he has a busload of friends, it looks like.
They look to be enjoying themselves. That's the American Shamrock. Just coming into view, another one of our Canadian bands, the Lion Rampant Accordion Band. Nancy?
The largest accordion band in North America, and they've come all the way from Kitchener, Ontario. Proud. He's a great guy. Remember meeting him last year, Jeff?
Yes, I do. He made a presentation to the city, to then Common Council President Walsh, as a matter of fact.
They come for no fee. We just provide their housing. I don't think people realize how much the bands cost in the parade. But this one doesn't charge. We just provide housing for them. It wouldn't be a parade without the bands. They are wonderful.
And this band's celebrating its 10th anniversary, by the way, so happy anniversary. Lion Rampant Accordion Band.
There's some folks looking out over the parade route from high above in one of the buildings here in downtown Syracuse.
Getting a bird's eye view. Of course, this is a great view that we have here that we're sharing with all of you. We hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are.
You know, I heard from the Navy band director about 2:30 this morning when they got in. So I know that the Navy band from Annapolis, actually is the U.S. Naval Academy Drum and Bugle Corps, will be coming up pretty soon in Division 5.
There's the Onondaga Kennel Association. Look at all the dogs on that float. There's one wagging his tail. Look at him in his green T-shirt. Hello, fella.
And another balloon launch right there from the Caterpillars of the Syracuse Supply Company. The Syracuse Heroes Supply today. Yet another pipe band you could hear in the background coming up, and this is the Gordon Highlanders of Buffalo first time the D Company, Buffalo City Guard, Gordon Highlanders, the second Buffalo pipe band to be heard so far.
Well, let's listen. And the 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by Chapel, serving Central New York since 1895, by Patient's Choice Incorporated, the health plan from your physician, and by Wegmans, where every day you get our best. Come on back and join Nancy, Peggy, and me and the rest of the Central New York 9 team as the parade continues.
People like you and me, being the best that we can be.
I have a lot of customers that come and ask for me in particular, and I enjoy serving them. That's what the name of the game is, to serve the customers and give them what they want. Do everything possible that we can to make them satisfactory.
We're the people who work at Wegmans. Every day you get our best.
We were just about to sell our firstborn to buy dress shoes for everybody. Then he was saved by this Payless poster. Payless has dress shoes for the whole family. All the same styles that you see in these other shoe stores. Only they're all on sale for about half as much. So thanks to Payless, we can afford to keep Tommy. Thank you.
Right now, save on men's dress and casual shoes. The latest styles are on sale for just $10.99 to $14.99 at Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why?
Here's the 10th Mountain Division U.S. Army Band from Fort Drum. Let's listen.
Okay, we have Lieutenant Colonel James Patrick Mahoney, right, of the 10th Mountain Division here today, and you guys are in this area for maneuvers.
Rick, we are the Syracuse National Guard. We're not 10th Mountain. We're at the Jefferson Street Armory, and we represent Syracuse's own Infantry National Guard.
Now, there is a legend that's associated with this group. Would you mind explaining to me what that's all about?
In 1846, the National Guard from Jefferson Street Armory were the first parade marchers to secure the parade for the Irishmen from local citizens who were not too favorably concerned about the Irishmen.
Well, they don't like them, so that's how you got started.
That's how it started.
Well, at least you guys are prepared for the weather today. You look good, and we appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you very much, and we have a lot of career opportunities for anyone interested. We're at the Jefferson Street Armory, Syracuse National Guard.
Good. Great outfit. All right. Thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
And following...
Thanks a lot, Rick. And we see lots of Army-type vehicles coming down the street, too.
Well, I apologize to our folks from the 2nd Battalion, 108th Infantry Division, because they are followed by some of the vehicles from the U.S. Army at Fort Drum. And, of course, our reservists support the Fort Drum folks.
There it is, the U.S. Navy Academy Drum and Bugle Corps from Annapolis, Maryland.
This is your military division, Nancy.
That's right. We started out with the Army, and now we have the Navy, and then, of course, we go on from there. You know, it's interesting to mention right off that the National Guard was founded in Syracuse in 1840 to protect the Irish on St. Patrick's Day. And that's why we have a military division, to kind of, in memorial to that event. This is the Coast Guard boat that's coming down from Oswego, followed by the Coast Guard color guard.
Something near and dear to our own Mike Price's heart, who is a Coast Guardsman.
Well, when Mike hasn't been out covering the parade, he's been marching with that unit. There's the band again. They were here in as a basketball band, I think in the second or third year of the parade. They had such a great time that they came back even without a basketball game here, the full band this time. There's again the Coast Guard boat.
That's the Boston Whaler from the Coast Guard from Oswego. That's from the reserve station. And then the boat is from the regular Coast Guard in Oswego. The United States Coast Guard station there.
Coming up behind them, I believe, the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 103, right here in Syracuse.
Led by Charles Pappy Patchen, I believe.
I heard rumors last night that the West Point band was in town. We're trying to follow up on that. I would not be surprised if they
Under very trying circumstances.
And here's the Fairport Firemen's Band, which you can hear in the background, marching behind the Vietnam vets.
The Fairport Firemen's Band, of course, is from Fairport, New York, which is near Rochester, the home of our own Steve Conquest.
Color Guard, Post 1468, Valley American Legion Indian Color Guard.
And behind them, I've been told that Popeye has already negotiated the first bridge and is limboing his way down.
Well, right to the right of our screen there, Nancy, you can see Popeye. Our cameramen are trying to position their shot so that they can start seeing Popeye coming up the street. And as the color guards of the American Legion posts continue to march proudly down South Salina Street. Now, we have in our little parade books here about 15 American Legion posts in a row, so we're going to let them march by and hope that our cameras can pick up the various flags, because we don't want to get anything wrong here. But the Legionnaires representing their various posts from all over central New York.
And there is at least one VFW post that I must mention. The Veterans 3146.
They're from Eastwood. Well, how you doing so far?
Having a great time. And here you can see our broadcast location. It's perfect, right along Salina Street here, right in front of the Hotel Syracuse. Great positioning to watch this wonderful parade. Still a lot more to come, too, Jeff.
That's right. Time is passing pretty quickly here. And we're going to continue along here for a while longer, because I know the folks at home want to see Popeye and Friend.
I just heard that the Friend is with Popeye.
A little bit behind.
We had contests last night to try to figure out who the Friend was. All I know is a skinny friend, not a fat friend.
All right, well, that narrows it down a little bit. So you Popeye fans, you should know a little bit more. as
the
those
Savannah
clues
Color Savers.
continue.
The marching brass band, they are, this is another fireman's band from Savannah. They do St. Sellers, and they do play in a band. They've been just revved up for a month now, getting ready for this parade.
Well, let's listen. And there's Popeye on his stomach coming down Salina Street to get under that sky bridge, and up in the air he gets ready to go, and we're going to see that a couple of times more today as we listen to the Savannah Cellar Savers.
It looks like he's intact.
He's doing pretty well.
There he goes. Whoops. He's coming back down again. Do you remember Heathcliff last year, the very first wire that he went under, he broke his nose.
Yes, and didn't he? I think he popped a hole in his tummy, too.
Now you can see just at the edge of your screen the second balloon.
I don't
no
know.
Surprise.
I think I...
The surprise guest is sneaking in and going up, but we still
Behind
can't...
the sky bridge, though. Can't quite see who it is yet.
You notice the Syracuse newspaper crew that is handling Popeye have got it down this year. They're not running. Remember Heathcliff's brigade last year? They were running along the street.
Well, maybe they'll do that. They have one more set of signals to go under before they get to the reviewing and VIP stands, and it's, I think maybe once they do that, and
I believe our Mike Price is joining the Syracuse newspaper employees with Popeye. Mike, tell us about it.
Here we are right under Popeye. He's down on his belly now. Now, you mentioned to me you're having some trouble with Popeye?
Yes, we've got some holes in him.
Oh, my goodness. I think they've told me 3 holes in Popeye, but he looks like he'll make it the rest of the way. Does he go up here at all? When does Popeye go up? Come on, let's let him go up here, fellas. Come on, let's let Popeye get up in the air, please. Come on. But by the way, I think I know who the secret partner of Popeye's is. We said Bluto yesterday. We were wrong. Way back there a ways is his old girlfriend, Olive Oil. And I think she'll probably be up in the air. But right now, we're kind of in the shade and out of the weather under Popeye here. It's a nice walk, but the crowd's getting a little unruly to either side of us here. They want to see Popeye up in the air. Larry, does Popeye ever get up in the air? I'm here with Larry Richardson, a reporter with the Herald. When are we going to get him up in the air here?
Oh, he's got a deflated ego right now. That's the problem.
Is Popeye going to finish this?
We'll get him through there. He's inspired by Olive Oil.
Okay, but he won't go up for us, huh?
Big leak in the back.
Okay, Popeye's got a big leak in the back, and I guess he won't be going up in the air.
Hey, sorry about that, Mike. I guess you got a false start there. What happened?
Poor Popeye.
Yes, it's Olive Oil.
It looks like Olive Oil is negotiating Salina Street much better.
yeah, Olive Oil seems to be being able to get up in the air. Unfortunately, some mishaps probably with the sky bridges and the signal lights for Popeye, but there's the balloon from the Kemp Balloon Company with the Syracuse newspaper's staffers escorting Popeye along.
It looks like he needs some spinach.
Not enough. Well, the 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by
Fayetteville Dodge, a dealer that makes a difference.
By Onondaga Beverage Corporation, local distributor of great domestic and imported beers.
And by PNC. Happy St. Patrick's Day from PNC, the Price Champions. Stay with us. Our live coverage of the 7th Annual St. Patrick's Parade continues from downtown Syracuse.
Increase the value and pleasure of your home with a beautiful maintenance-free deck or better living porch enclosure from Leo A. Klein. For over 40 years, homeowners have looked to Leo A. Klein for personalized service, quality work, fair prices, and free estimates. Visit a Leo A. Klein showroom today and let us help turn your ideas into a functional, valuable leisure living space. Order now for earliest installation, deferred payments, and financing available.
At Leo A. Klein, we work for you.
Peter Coleman here, speaking for Guinness and Harp. A lot of tradition going on. A lot of tradition this 17th. These are the real items. 10 million glasses consumed each day. How can that many people be wrong? Guinness and Harp, the only way to go. Ireland in a glass. Schlanta.
Guinness Stout and Harp Lager, distributed to your favorite clubs and retailers by Onondaga Beverage Corporation.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to live coverage here on Central New York 9 of the Syracuse St. Patrick's Parade. And there's Popeye's friend, Olive Oyl. You just had a shot of her moving down Salina Street, and she is up in the air.
Yes, she is up in the air. Poor Popeye, as they said, a little deflated ego. He didn't have his spinach today, but Olive Oyl looks in great spirits.
Now,
there she is.
she's got to get down underneath that second set of traffic signals here, so let's see how they do this. These are staffers from the Syracuse newspapers, right, Nancy?
That's right, and they were practicing a little bit this morning. They didn't have much more than a few minutes to practice. I still think it's very significant, probably, Jeff, if I might say, that Olive Oyl is making it and Popeye isn't.
Yes, women's liberation, and showing the power of the woman behind this parade, Nancy Duffy, and the woman in it. And this is the first time we're seeing Olive Oyl, or anyone is seeing Olive Oyl. Is that not true? Didn't you tell me that this is a debut for the Olive Oyl balloon?
At the Popeye balloon.
Okay.
The Popeye was a new 50-foot balloon making his debut in Olive Oyl, of course. And the interesting thing about Olive Oyl is she's 10 feet taller than Popeye.
Yeah, there she is. And I think Mike Price is, we're going to be, as soon as the producer tells us, we're going to be talking to Mike Price, who is with Olive Oyl now. Mike, try again.
Okay, Olive is going up. Here we go. There she goes. Popeye came by on his tummy, if you remember, but Olive is up in the air, alive and well, with apparently no leaks. So the hero of the giant balloons today isn't Popeye, but his girlfriend Olive. Look at how well she's doing. Can I try this here? How's Olive doing along the route?
Doing great. We're going up and down, better than Popeye. Popeye's a little sluggish.
Popeye lost some helium, I guess, but okay, now, let's see. We don't have another line to get under here for a while. Here, you just grab there. I want to see what it's like to be right up close to Olive Oyl here. Hi there, Olive. How you doing up there? Hey, look at this here. Look at him right under. Oh, my gosh. I don't want to get stepped on by Olive Oyl, but this is what it's like. Look. Oh, my goodness. This is really so. How's it going with Olive here today?
All right. She's doing pretty well.
Yeah, no leaks or anything?
No leaks. Popeye had one, but not Olive.
Popeye, I think, had a few. He came by here on his tummy. You know, it was interesting. When Olive went down, the crowd got into a chant here, up, up, up. And you'll see her do that again in just a little while. Now we'll get back to Jeff and Peggy and Nancy.
It is amazing how big that balloon is.
It really is.
It really is.
And the crowd loves her. She has a big smile on her face, too. Did you notice? She's having a great time.
Towering over Salina Street, that's for sure.
And you can hear the cheers all along the route for Olive Oyl. Wow, look at her.
Now, Olive Oyl is going to have to come down here a little bit onto street level because she's got to get under another set of traffic lights. So there we go.
She is bigger than Heathcliff, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh, my.
This is going to take some doing, I think, because that traffic signal looks pretty low.
You know what they're making this of?
That's how they do it, folks.
Do you think that we could get the city ever to remove any of these impediments to our balloons every parade year?
Going to have to talk to Tom Young and the Common Council about that, I think, Nancy. And so the parade continues, and Popeye, deflated ego and all, and now Olive Oyl doing much better than Popeye was.
Looks like it takes about 30 people to handle a balloon like that.
Courtesy the Syracuse newspapers, and thank them very much for bringing that bit of excitement to all of us. Well, folks are moving around here downtown to stay warm, and Watch the parade as it continues to go by, and here are O'Reilly's Raisins back again in the parade.
O'Reilly's Raisins, and followed by the Syracuse Chiefs Baseball Club with Tex Simone. Yep, the Chiefs just left.
Well, that's all right.
There are the Raisins again. Of course, the Mummers will be coming down the street pretty soon as we move toward the 6th Division.
O'Reilly's Raisins doing a little dirty dancing.
That's what they're doing.
That's what it is. I'm not sure that's exactly what Patrick Swayze was doing.
No, Jeff, it wasn't.
Somehow that doesn't do it justice, but there they are. And as our producer Tim Fox was saying earlier this week, that answers the question of what is that other thing in the Carrier Dome end zone for basketball games or underneath the hoop, and it's some of these California Raisins or the O'Reilly Raisins.
And the O'Reilly Raisins originated a couple years ago at a bridge club where some women got together and decided, what are we going to do for the parade? And they decided to become Raisins. And every year it becomes more and more extensive. Now, the Onondaga Yacht Club, you know, wanted to be near Popeye just in case he needed a boat. He is a sailorman.
You know, it's the Onondaga Yacht Club is over 100 years old and happens to be the oldest yacht club in the area. Still a very active membership.
And rowing along in the parade are the members of the yacht club. I'm not sure that they're actually powering that float along, but I may be wrong about that.
When it comes to things Irish, Jeff, there are lots of magic.
Part of that famous Irish blessing, may the wind be always at your back.
Here's the Huntington Family Center in their first year of the parade. Huntington Family Center, of course, run by Beverly O'Connor Kelly.
Not Irish at all.
And that's a version of Lucy's House you just saw. A respite program for parents to be able to take a break when they need it. It's a little house right on top of that van, the Lucy House.
Lucy House, of course, located right next to St. Lucy's Church.
And behind the, I don't know if you can see, that's the Freihofer Baking Company, the antique horse and wagon. And they have some Freihofer cookies, I'm told. Are you hungry? Did you say anything?
Nancy, I'm always hungry. I think that's another Irish
I
trait.
think they put the raisins and the cookies together for...
The Freihofer 1913 authentic bread delivery wagon when they delivered bread from house to house.
And another corporate sponsor of the parade. Thank you, Freihofers, and thank you all corporate sponsors. I can't thank you enough. Making all of this possible. Telephone Pioneers help make it possible, too. You know, all the clowns that we've seen throughout the parade as the division leaders are the Telephone Pioneer clowns, and they're in the parade also.
Here are the folks from Tipperary Hill, the Cashel House and Coleman's. And what would St. Patrick's Day and weekend in Syracuse be without a trip to Tip Hill? And perhaps a stop by Coleman's.
And the...
And speaking of Coleman's, looks like we have some green beer coming up, Jeff. A lot of green beer. My goodness, that is actually filled with green beer.
From the underground tanks, the subterranean tanks off Tompkins Street up on Tip Hill. Peter Coleman's Tavern. Familiar landmark. for visitors to this city and its residents.
You know, people used to know Syracuse as the home of the old Colemans. They had two rules. One, no strangers were allowed, and no women allowed in the bar. Now, of course, Coleman's is a fine Irish place, Contemporary Hill.
Well, and he's really restored it lovingly, really trying to turn that part of Tip Hill into an Irish village, really, and restore that look.
Of course, it's just a block from the famous green over red traffic light.
Exactly.
The only one in the world that has the green light on top.
The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by
Ryan Homes. We celebrate your home.
By Falso Heating. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Falso Heating.
And by Leo A. Klein. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Leo A. Klein, 2121 Teal Ave. Come on back. There's lots of parade left here on Central New York 9.
We were just about to sell our firstborn to buy dress shoes for everybody. Then he was saved by this Payless poster. Payless has dress shoes for the whole family. All the same styles that you see in these other shoe stores. Only they're all on sale for about half as much. So thanks to Payless, we can afford to keep Tommy. Thank you.
Save on children's dress shoes right now at Payless. Boys and girls' favorite styles are on sale for $8.99 and $9.99. Payless Shoe Source. You could pay more, but why?
It's time to visit one of the world's great garden spots. The Lawn and Garden Department at your local True Value hardware store, where you'll find this dependable deluxe Lawn Chief 20-inch mower with 3.5 horsepower engine for just $149.88. The Poland 16-inch gas chainsaw with accessories is only $139.99. And this powerful electric blower from Weed Eater clears debris fast for just $25.88. At participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
It certainly is exciting to watch today's parade in downtown Syracuse, but you know, you don't have to wait for a parade to enjoy a visit to downtown. There's lots going on almost any time. If you haven't yet visited the shops in Armory Square or ridden the new Salt City Trolley, you may have missed part of the excitement of downtown. How about the new galleries on South Salina Street or the exciting variety of downtown restaurants? More than 200 shops are also located right here. Isn't it time you visited downtown again?
Welcome back to downtown Syracuse. We've got a parade going on here, one that Syracuse can be very proud of. The 7th annual St. Patrick's Parade, and of course we're bringing you live coverage of it from right here in downtown Syracuse.
And here comes Vic Cole's lamp-lighters. The revised lamp-lighters. They again had some problems. They had 6 inches of snow yesterday, and they came through the snow to Syracuse, arrived here early this morning. The Lamplighters was here for the 2nd and 3rd parade, I think, and now it's a revised band. Let's listen to it.
Let's listen.
I believe that's the Key Bank float.
I think you're right.
The O'Keefe, that's right.
O'Keefe's Chips, they are.
And that's their band.
Well, he's got the right idea. mixed in there for Key Bank. The Irish flag, of course, green, white, and orange. Orange and green very much in evidence today with the success of the Syracuse Orangemen so far in the NCAA tournament.
Right, I think this is the only community where during a St. Patrick's Day celebration, orange and green blend so well.
And of course, you know, the SU Chancellor is the Shamrock of the Year this year, and he just got back from Lockerbie, Scotland late last night. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit as he marched along with the VIPs, and he said it was a very moving experience over there in Lockerbie. Certainly a great tragedy for this whole entire Syracuse Central New York community.
Chancellor Melvin Eggers.
But he's one of our valiant float judges every year, and for that, he's the Shamrock of the Year.
Yeah, tell us about the float judging, Nancy. Does that take place before or after the parade?
Right during the parade, and of course the judges are all the most intelligent people we could find were the presidents of area colleges. Augmented, of course, by County Executive Nick Puro this year, and the Syracuse School Superintendent, Henry Williams.
Well, we're looking now, I believe, at the entry from Bishop Ludden. And a few minutes ago, we saw a shot of the muscular dystrophy float. And just coming into view, some folks on the United Auto Workers float.
And this is the Jerry's Kids, the Muscular Dystrophy Association float, and it looks like a giant mushroom.
It says, join the mushrooming fight against muscular dystrophy.
And they just reported another breakthrough last week.
That's right.
Against muscular dystrophy. So
well,
that's very exciting.
All that money donated every year by viewers all across the country to Jerry's Telethon, helping to go to that research and helping to fund some of those breakthroughs. Here are the folks from Local 624 of the United Auto Workers, and we're seeing Bishop Ludden again as they march along the parade route.
There's the UAW Local 624. And in the background, you can see the Landmark Theater, which is advertising again the Mummers concert after the parade at 3:30. And that courtesy of a lot of generous folks in the Syracuse area. You know, you couldn't have a parade without that enthusiasm and spirit and generosity and another balloon launch.
That one from the UAW float.
This is their first appearance in the St. Patrick's Parade. And that float, Jeff, it was constructed, and Peggy, entirely of plywood.
Handcrafted by some of the UAW members with a looks like a
there's the leprechaun tree, and I think if you listen closely you might be able to recognize that voice singing. It's the former common councilor Peter Del Giorno. Did you ever see a leprechaun tree?
That's my first.
Mine too, Nancy. You know, they say that if you go into a forest and find the tallest tree, at the bottom of it, you'll find a leprechaun. And the Harrington clan that comes together every year for the parade in honor of their Irish heritage.
And some of the folks from some of the Central New York radio stations. This one looks like the Kicks FM radio entry.
Look at that beautiful Corvette.
It's a nice one.
in beautiful condition. The 1989 St. Patrick's Parade on Central New York 9 is brought to you in part by P&C. The price champion people care about you.
By Chapel, serving Central New York with fashion for family and home.
And by Patient's Choice Incorporated, the health plan from your physician. Stay with us. The parade continues.
Come join the fun at the biggest store-wide furniture sale of the year.
This is our annual Irish bargain party. And O'Duncan O'Bright features the largest selection of furniture in New York State.
Oh, the bargains! Big savings on all window treatments, soft light shades, vertical blinds, and draperies. Or 20 square yards of DuPont Stainmaster carpet for only $3.97.
Enjoy Irish refreshments and Irish gifts with every purchase.
And maybe win a trip or two to Ireland.
That's O'Duncan O'Bright. O'Duncan O'Bright.
People like you and me, being the best that we can be.
I have a lot of customers that come and ask for me in particular, and I enjoy serving them. That's what the name of the game is, to serve the customers and give them what they want. Do everything possible that we can to make them satisfied.
The people who work at Wegmans, every day you get our best.
There's a lot more to health care coverage than just the blues. Now there's a choice. Patient's Choice, the area's fastest growing health maintenance organization and the only plan established by Central New York physicians. Our extensive prepaid coverage through more than 600 area physicians includes most checkups and tests with no claim forms necessary. To learn more, ask your employer or call Patient's Choice today for health care coverage that's sweet music to your ears.
Welcome back to Central New York 9's live coverage of the Syracuse St. Patrick Parade, everyone. I'm Jeff Scheidecker along with Peggy Finnegan and Nancy Duffy, and they're the folks from 93Q atop their boom box.
Giant boom box. Look at that.
When you have a boom box,
right behind them, another radio station, 62 WHEN. And the heavy vet. And not too far away,
there's the wheelchair gang and Dometti in a wheelchair. Dometti, you know, of course, one of the unofficial mascots at Syracuse University. He's riding with the Syracuse Flyers.
Syracuse Flyers doing quite a job in this community, raising funds through their wheelchair basketball games and other fundraising events.
Dometti recovering from a broken leg. I guess he was tackled by some fans outside the dome one evening and actually had to have a plate placed in his leg. So we, of course, wish him the best in his recovery and hope to see him when the season starts again. A wonderful Syracuse Orange fan. And today his orange wick has turned green. Oh, look now.
Hey, Nancy, what's this?
Oh, there they are. They're here.
The Turning String Band.
And they're all dressed up as ice cream cones. Do they look like ice cream cones to you?
Well, there's...
Use your imagination.
Yeah, I think they do. The Turning String Band, of course, a division of the Mummers. And Jack He is the captain, and he is marching in front there, marching back and forth as he always does, or actually strutting, I guess you'd call that.
And their theme this year is Custard's Last Stand.
That's Custards.
Custard's Last Stand. Joe Nicoletti was happy about that. He has green ice cream today at his ice cream store.
Well, let's listen.
The Mummers. What great entertainers they are.
They sure are. This morning they set up local headquarters at the Clinton Exchange, and they were hosted at a breakfast, guests of the Conjul family and the Pyramid Companies.
And of course, right after the parade, they're going to be performing a concert on the Grand Staircase in the Landmark Theater. So,
And Wegmans, you should mention about Wegmans too. Wegmans fed them a wonderful breakfast when they arrived.
Mummers are my favorite.
Well, what a way to end our broadcast, Nancy and Peggy. What a terrific show.
It really was. A wonderful parade, Nancy, and we're so glad that you could join us.
And, of course, if you're at home, you can still come down and see a little bit more of it because there is at least 2 more divisions still to go.
You're going to see in a few minutes the names of some of the folks, a few seconds, the names of some of the folks who've helped us put this broadcast on the air. And from the anchor desk, let's say thanks on our part for all of their help. And thank you for watching.
I want to again say thank you to Steve Cronquist. It's so important and plays such a crucial part in all of this.
Well, been a great show.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, one day late to all of you, and we hope you enjoyed the parade. It's been a wonderful pleasure for us.
And we'll see you next year, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
The news at 5:30 on Central New York 9.
She isn't the only victim. The pair have gotten away with this scam dozens of times.
Not just stories that make the news, but news that makes a difference.
The people fighting this fire are your friends and your neighbors. They're not getting paid, but they come whenever you call. They're volunteers.
Soon we are going to help you control a major health threat. The news at 5:30 on Central New York 9. News that is making a difference.